Hey guys, it's 97 Lego Maniac with another custom minifigure video, and for this video, it's just one figure, but I just wanted to make it because I think it will be really quick and simple. Here we have Jhin from League of Legends. This is a game I've been playing for quite a while, and the reason why I made this figure because he's my main, and I think he's a lot of fun, and I wanted to make a minifigure of him because I think it would be really cool, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop making League of Legends figures because there's a lot of cool characters that I think deserve to make me be made into minifigures because I just love their design and I just like their gameplay. I thought I was going to stop at Jinx when I made that for my friend for a Secret Santa, but then I ended up making Lux for my girlfriend and Caitlyn for myself, and it just kind of like spiraled from there. Now I made Jhin and I made Seraphine for my girlfriend, and I plan on making more figures such as Zaya and Timo and Aphelios and redesign Caitlyn. And I made the entire characters from Arcane, so that happened, and I don't think it's gonna stop. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I like League of Legends as a game because I play it all the time. I mostly play with my girlfriend's dad nowadays and we only play like one game mode. We play ARAM, and I'm not gonna feel, and I don't feel ashamed, I don't feel ashamed playing the game. I don't feel ashamed making these minifigures because I like these characters and I want to make them into Lego because nobody else has done it. Now there's plenty of people who have made them in the community, but I want to give my take on it, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So without further ado, let's move on to Jhin the Virtuoso. Now we're going to go over all the details. Here I have Kata Jhin from League of Legends. He is a really fun champion. So to quickly go over his lore to the audience who don't know anything about the game or anything about the character, Jhin is a serial killer in lore in the Legends of Runeterra. So he is an interesting serial killer because he is also an artist. He has a love for art and he has a love for theater. So in lore, I believe he killed like 4 people, but how he killed his victims, he wants to kill them in a way that's artistic. Like the way he kills people, he sees their bodies as a canvas because he believes death is an art show. So if he wants to kill someone, he wants to do it in the most artistic way possible using his gun. So he's a very interesting character. And yeah, I just love everything about him. I just like the theater look of him, and I love his development. Like I've been watching like documentaries of him, and it's just really interesting because the most important part about this character is the number 4. 4 is everything about Jhin. 4 kills, and his gun carries 4 bullets before he reloads. His grenades bounce 4 times. His bomb detonates after 4 seconds. His ultimate ability also has 4 bullets, and the last bullet is always the most powerful one, and that does crit damage. And also, Jhin has 4 letters. Jhin also has 4 primary colors, that being red, gold, white, and black. So that's very interesting. There's so many other references of 4 into this character. I think that makes him interesting because it fits well into his lore and fits well into his gameplay. And speaking of his gameplay, it's quite a lot of fun. Currently, I'm like a Mastery 6 Jhin. It's really hard to get Mastery 7 as an AD carry, but I was actually surprised I managed to get Mastery 6. He's just a lot of fun to play, and he's just my comfort ADC pick because it's really hard for me to kite because I don't have the mechanics like any other Koreans. So yeah, but Jhin, he's just really fun. I don't know if he's good in this meta by the time I'm recording this. I haven't played him in a while. But I've been playing like other characters lately, but he will always be the number 1 ADC in my heart. He's been my main after I kind of dropped Caitlyn a bit, and he's just a lot of fun to play as. All right, so that's about it. Moving on to the rest of the figure, starting from the top. His cowl and his beater mask was actually made with a Batman cowl, and I cut off the back part of the Batman cowl and I cut off the bottom part of it just below the nose, and I carved out these details to cut it into the shape of a mask. And for the bottom, that bottom part below the nose is all sculpted. Once I fully sculpted that, I then wrapped like a thin sheet of Procreate around the head to try to give it that thin ski ball mask. And then I cut it a bit on the front, and then I glued the mask on top. And that's how I was able to make this. So that way you can see all this Procreate here and the Batman cowl, what it used to be, and all this sculpted detail. And as for his head, I just painted these white dots because like I don't even want to make his unmasked head. He doesn't really go unmasked. He does have a model of what he looks like under his mask, but I didn't think it was that important for this figure. So yeah. And for his mask here, I didn't go with white paint. What I did, I went with this like metallic white paint because I think it fits better to kind of give it that stone look. And then after that, I did a like, little bit of black wash over it, and I painted all these like little details. And moving on to the rest of the figure, his cloak here, that's actually made with a Lego fabric cape, mostly from this like ship sail piece, and then I folded it and I can just to give that little wrinkle here. And I made some little minor adjustments, like cut off like little sections just for his shoulder cannon here. And his shoulder cannon is the most interesting part because that's actually made with entirely out of styrene. The rods were also styrene as well, and you see like these magnet bits because those come into play for his ultimate, and I will go over that in the end of this video. So yeah, all that was made with styrene. I could have easily 3D printed this, but this was during the time I didn't have a 3D printer yet. So yeah, this figure and all of its accessory, none of it is 3D printed. So yeah, I'm really proud of how it turns out. I wanted to make sure that Jhin has like is probably my magnum opus of minifigures because like in lore, Jhin is an artist and he wants everything to be perfect. So I just want to make sure I get every single detail right and I don't cut corners. And I think I did a really good job here. So moving on to like the rest of his arm, is I have his gold arm here with a sculpted shoulder pad. I sculpted little kneecaps just to make it very simple. I used like Lego anti-studs to form like these like joints that he has, the armor joints that he has on his knees. And yeah, and moving his cape because like I did paint details underneath, which I'll show you. I'll remove this here and put everything back. As you can see, his torso has painted details as well. I actually gave it like a purple gradient because I really like that effect it has on the reference images that I found. And I also sculpted like all these like these knotted threads on his belt and on his like on his torso as well, that thing that holds the shoulder cannon piece. I even used like eat tape for the rest of the belt here. And yeah, and I even painted the back. Even though these details are covered, I want to make sure these are on the minifigure because again, I don't want to cut corners. I don't want to be lazy with this figure because this is my main. And since Jhin is an artist, I want to make sure I do my best to make him to truly make him the best minifigure I have. Now onto his gun here. Here we have Whisper. This is like the main gun that he would use in all of his basic auto attacks and certain abilities as well. And I made this with simply like a brick arms pistol that I carved up to make sure it's small as possible. And the reason why it has to be this small is because it plays into effect of his ultimate weapon, which all of his weapons would combine, and you will see later again. So what I did here, I sculpted like this little horn piece here. I dry sculpted this little scope, and I also sculpted a stock, this stock that he has underneath. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this gun. Now we're gonna move on to the rest of his accessories. Moving on to his accessories, here I have Jhin when he's using his W ability. I believe it's called Deadly Flourish. I forgot what it was, to be honest. Our captivating audience. I think it's Deadly Flourish. I think that's the name. So yeah, here we have like his cane gun here. This is his W ability. Once again, once he hits the enemy, as long as they're marked, they get rooted. This is a really useful sniper-like ability, and I really like it here. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to portray as if he's using this ability in-game with his like leg back and his arm behind his back. And I think I did a pretty good job here. So I used these crazy brick archer arms, but instead of using it in an archer position, I use it in a way when he's like aiming his gun and he's like shooting it in a sophisticated manner. So yeah, once I did that, I then 3D printed this leg that's like sticking out from the back when the character is like standing on one leg. As for this gun here, I made it with a flex 2 piece. As you can see, there's a hole back here. I also use like a rod. I also use the same anti-stud from on his legs onto the gun, which I left a little bit of room here because it plays into his special ability, which I will get to later. And then what I did, I sculpted this little like trigger here. I sculpted this little like little scope. I also sculpted like this rectangular piece here, just so I can like have this like Michael's jewelry crafts piece. And my cat just jumped on the table, but it's okay. And also what I did, I also like glued a piece of fabric here because I want to get this done right. And I'm really glad that this turned out really well. So yeah, this was really important for Jhin. Again, I wanted to make sure that I capture all the details as much as possible, and I think I did a pretty good job. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Jhin and the rest of his accessories. We'll move on to the rest for his ultimate ability. Now, the first step to start with his ultimate move, first we need to reposition the figure a little bit. Now, the first step is to remove the shoulder pad. This is why I made it removable, because it's actually easier to combine all the weapons together and then put it back onto the figure. So we're going to take that off. We're going to position his armored arm into place, and yeah, just leave it like that, because this is the arm that's going to hold the cannon. This arm just kind of does whatever, but I can just like leave it like this for now. And onto like his leg, I'm going to remove this right leg here and replace it with the same pair as the other, this like this knee back leg here, because once he's on the ground, he's just gonna kneel into position in his sniper pose. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the figure. And the figure is done. Now we're going to move on to the weapons. Now, to combine his weapons, first, here's his shoulder cannon. What you need to do first, remove this cover off. This is where Whisper is going to attach. And like, so yeah, that's to form like the rest of the connection of the shoulder cannon gun and his main guns in total. Then I have these pieces here. These are like the embedded magical bullets. So, and then they're all made with like magnets and styrene and parts of like Lego pieces here and just cut up random Lego pieces just to get that whole canister effect. And what I do is you take them and connect all these onto the magnets of the shoulder cannon. So yeah, and some of them are kind of lopsided, so I have to like rotate it until it kind of looks right, something like this. So yeah, there we have the cannon. Now onto Whisper here and his cane gun. As I said before, there's an anti-stud here and there's a stud on the gun. This will combine just like so. Now, if the shoulder cannon gun is facing this way and we have Whisper like that, the handle of the gun has to be tilted just so the hand can fit along when this thing is on the torso. It's just so everything can fit together. Now, the next thing you do is combine Whisper onto the shoulder gun here, and it'll just kind of sit. It'll just kind of sit on top, just like that. And there you go. It will stay on better once it's on the shoulder. This doesn't really stay on that much, but it's okay. Now there's a magnet back here on the cover of the shoulder cannon gun. What that does, I just like put this in between carefully, and it just kind of sits there because of the magnetic pole. It will make sure that this will kind of latch on, and there you go. There you have his shoulder gun. And now onto the figure itself. Once I put this on. And once we have all those parts combined, here we have Jhin with his ultimate curtain call. Now, this was a really cool thing I made. It's the reason why I wanted to make this figure. I wanted to make sure this part is translated perfectly into Lego. I mean, it is the most iconic part about Jhin. Even though I don't display this mode as much, I just want to make sure I was able to translate this into Lego and make sure all the parts were working and able to transform into this cool looking transformation there. So yeah, so here we have like the shoulder cannon with all the 4 embedded magical bullets, and then we have Whisper, his pistol, and the cane gun that he has, all combined to form into this one big ability. And it's really fun to use this ability in the game because like this ultimate is cool. Like it's so fun to get all 4 skill shots down, especially using the last bullet to get that final kill. It's just so much fun. And I'm glad I was able to make this, and this is definitely my favorite part in making this figure, making sure that this ability is translated into Lego, so that way it just looks cool for Jhin. Again, the main reason why I wanted to make this figure, and yeah, so he would be kneeling on the ground, but I just want to show, but I have this little levitating piece there for flying poses, only just so I can show you the figure while I'm rotating it. So yeah, he would be kneeling on the ground and in this position, and he can stand well like this on the ground. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Jhin. We can just wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Alright guys, that's it for this showcase video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please follow me on Instagram, and also subscribe to my second channel, because as I made an announcement not that long ago on my main channel, I wanted to use my second channel as like a variety content type of channel where I upload like gameplays or I talk about just general things in life or sticking up with the current events. So if you're interested in that, please check that out. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.